on today, guys? Back working on the GXP here, got her jacked up. Gonna tackle the inevitable today since we're on quarantine, and we're gonna try and take the power steering rack out of this thing and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. So, stay tuned because this is gonna be some carnage, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but we're just gonna send it because I watched a couple videos on YouTube, and you know, we're YouTube certified here. So, we're gonna take these wheels off, see if we can find the steering shaft in there. I believe there's a boot we gotta lift up, and then there should be a bolt I can take out, disconnect the steering shaft, and then we're gonna drop the back half of the subframe down, disconnect the tie rods, the feed and return lines, and should be able to rip this rack out of here and fix our leaky lines and see what else is up with this rack. So stay tuned, and yeah, it's gonna be some carnage. Alright, so first thing we had to do was disconnect the steering shaft. Up here, it's really hard to film, but there's a rubber boot. It's a really thick rubber boot with a metal clip at the bottom. I'm not going to be able to fit up there. Maybe get a glimpse of it. It's up in here. I don't know if you guys can see my hand, but it's up in here. And there's a 12mm bolt. This bolt right here. It's called a pinch bolt. That holds the steering shaft together. And so we took this bolt out. Now we're going to take the two rear bolts out of the lower half of the subframe. I got a bottle jack underneath. And we're going to lower the subframe down slightly and see if we can get to this leaky line. Like I said, these two bolts here, on these two rubber bushings, these subframe bolts, they're 18mm, and you're going to need a hefty impact gun. So to my homie Kyle there's got the snap-on gun there. We're going to try and Zeus these things off and see how it goes. We'll start with these two back two, and yeah, see how it goes. Alright guys, so we got our old rack out there. You can see, pretty sure she was leaking from this seal here. She's leaking from everywhere in there. This rack was pretty much shot. The boots were leaking, they were ripped. See, there's still fluid leaking out, and this is honestly a couple days later. Had to wait for this new rack to be shipped in. Shout out to Rock Auto again. I got a rack from them. I believe it was $177 plus shipping for this rack. And it's got a plug for the variable assist steering and everything. And all the lines that I thought were leaking have already come on this rack. Got fresh boots on it too. So a lot more painless, especially for the money, than trying to figure out what's wrong with this one. So we're gonna try and slap this thing back in there, and let's see how she goes here, and see if we actually have a power steering system after this. Alright, so we got the rack back in there. Kyle's working on tightening those the two power steering lines back up. And gotta work on that pinch bolt, put our tie rods back on, and we'll update you guys as we keep going here. And these lines, the two power steering lines, are an 18mm wrench. And they just go into, where do they go? Like to the top side of the rack there, Kyle? Yeah. Right on the top, right where it, the steering shaft goes into the rack. There's two orange plugs in there. That's where those lines go in. That's where we took the other two out. Alright, so we got her all wrapped up, plugged the power steering system. I totally forgot to film an outro to this video. I just want to take a second to shout out to my buddy Kyle there. I couldn't have done this without him, and this turned out to be a way tougher job than I intended it to be. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. We got a new power steering pump coming for this thing. That seems to be our problem. You could hear that thing whining right at the end of the video there, and seems to be we still got no power steering system, which is just lovely. So I'm going to change the pump next, and hopefully that fixes our problem. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.